They were told they didn't belong here, not on this stage, not against these teams. For decades, the football world looked at this nation and saw nothing but a footnote. Tonight, they play in the round of 16 of the World Cup. And to understand why that terrifies their opponents, you need to understand everything that came before it. Morocco's story with football didn't begin with glory. It began under French and Spanish colonial rule when the sport arrived through foreign settlers. And Moroccans were for a long time spectators in their own country's game. Independence came in 1956, and with it, a new question. Could this nation ever compete with the powers that once ruled it? For the next 2 decades, Morocco built its footballing identity from nothing. New leagues, new clubs, a national team searching for its place on a continent still finding its own footing in the sport. Then, in 1976, Morocco won its first Africa Cup of Nations. It was proof to themselves and to the continent that this was a footballing nation to be taken seriously. 10 years later, at the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, Morocco did something no African team had ever done. Drawn in a group with England, Poland, and Portugal, 3 European nations, Morocco didn't just survive. They topped the group, the first African team in history to win a World Cup group and reach the knockout stage. But history doesn't repeat itself on command. For the next 3 decades, Morocco chased a bigger dream, not just playing in a World Cup, but hosting one. They bid in 1994, rejected, 1998, rejected, 2006, rejected, 2010, rejected again. 4 times, the world said no. In 2026, they tried a 5th time and lost again. But this time, something different was coming. Morocco would eventually be named co-host of the 2030 World Cup, alongside Spain and Portugal, becoming the first North African and first Amazigh nation ever to host football's biggest tournament. Before that dream could come true, Morocco had one more mountain to climb, and in Qatar in 2022 they climbed higher than any African or Arab nation ever had. They opened the group stage by beating Belgium, ranked 2nd in the entire world. It was a statement. Nobody was laughing anymore. In the round of 16, they faced Spain, and for 120 minutes, neither team could break through. It went to penalties. And when Hakimi stepped up, he didn't blast it. He chipped it softly, almost disrespectfully calm, and Morocco was through to a World Cup quarterfinal for the first time in its history. After that win, something happened that the whole world remembers. The Moroccan players didn't celebrate with cameras or sponsors. They ran straight to their mothers, who had come onto the pitch, and celebrated with them instead. It became one of the most talked about moments in World Cup history, a reminder of what this team was really playing for. In the quarterfinal, they beat Portugal, eliminating one of the tournament favorites and one of the very nations that had once colonized parts of their region. For the first time ever, an African team, an Arab team, was in a World Cup semifinal. They lost to France 2-0. But by then, it didn't matter. They had already rewritten what was thought possible. They finished the tournament 4th in the entire world, the best result any African nation has ever achieved at a World Cup. And now, in 2026, the Atlas Lions are back. Tonight they face Canada in the round of 16, carrying the weight of everything that came before them. 5 rejected World Cup bids, 30 years of waiting, a semifinal for the ages, and a World Cup of their own arriving in 2030. They were told they didn't belong. Tonight they play like they own the stage. This is Morocco. This is the Atlas Lions.